3 minutes. That's how long it took for real cops to cuff the imposters trying to break into my seaside cottage. A nosy HOA tyrant, Margaret Hensley, showed up with two goons dressed as officers, demanding I hand over my home. What you don't know is why she was fixated on my place, how far she'd go to snatch it, and a wild chain of events that unraveled her life. This woman torched everything she had to ruin me, and watching her crash was pure justice. Let me paint the picture. I'm Jake, a 34-year-old graphic designer, living my dream in a quaint coastal cottage in Sunset Bay, Oregon. It's 2024, and for 2 years, I've savored mornings with coffee, ocean views, and zero drama, just me, my laptop, and serenity. I thought I'd hit the jackpot with this place, a steal of a deal. But paradise? It was about to turn into a battlefield. It started on a crisp Tuesday in June. Margaret, the HOA president, knocked on my door, all smiles, with a plate of oatmeal cookies. "Welcome, neighbor," she chirped, her voice dripping with charm. She gushed about my cottage's charm and my remote work setup, asking about my clients, my schedule, even how late I worked. I thought she was just a sweet old lady, maybe a bit nosy. But something felt off. Her endless questions, the way she snapped photos of my place, muttering about property values. My gut whispered warnings, but I brushed them off. Who suspects a cookie-bearing grandma of scheming? Big mistake. The next day, an official HOA email landed in my inbox, demanding a structural inspection. It reeked of bureaucracy, but I noticed the font Arial, not used in the 90s when the HOA was founded. A red flag. When Margaret called, her warmth was gone, replaced by a cold, pushy tone. "Just routine," she insisted, but my instincts screamed trouble. By day 3, a violation notice was taped to my door, claiming my cottage was an illegal commercial structure and demanding $20,000 or eviction. It cited a vague clause about community reclamation. Furious, I dug into the HOA bylaws. Nothing supported her claim. It was all fake. I called the HOA treasurer, who confirmed no such notice was sent. That's when I went full defense mode. I installed security cameras visible and hidden recorded every call and saved every email. I ran a background check on Margaret. Turns out she was a washed-up realtor who lost her own beachfront property in 2020. My cottage? It was her obsession, a symbol of what she'd lost. I learned she'd bullied neighbors for years, filing petty complaints to flex her power. I knew she'd escalate, so I prepared for war. Then came the insanity. Margaret recruited two dim-wits, Carl Buster Thompson, a jobless gym rat, and Lenny Slick Carter, a pizza delivery guy drowning in gambling debts. She paid them $600 each to pose as cops and scare me into compliance. Their plan? Intimidate me, search my place, and plant fake evidencia bug, baking soda disguised as drugs, and forge documents to frame me. On a sunny Wednesday, at 8:45 a.m., my cameras caught them plotting 50 yards from my cottage. Margaret barked orders while Carl and Lenny nodded like clueless henchmen. I checked my gear cameras rolling, phone ready for 911, cloud backup running. My heart pounded, but I was ready. At 9 a.m., they pounded on my door. Margaret's voice turned venomous. "Jake, open this door. You're under investigation for federal violations." Carl growled about legal authority, while Lenny mumbled about lunch. Their fake badges gleamed like cheap toys. I stayed calm, demanding a warrant. Carl stammered. "Warrant? What's that?" Lenny blurted. "Badge number, 42,069. It was absurd, but terrifying. Desperate people do desperate things. When I refused entry, Margaret snapped, "Break it down." Carl grabbed a crowbar, splintering my door. I dialed 911. 3 people posing as cops are breaking into my home at 142 Seaside Lane. Sirens wailed within 3 minutes. Officers Harper and Gwynn, real cops, arrived at 9:08 a.m. The trio froze. Margaret shrieked, "Run." This wasn't the plan. Carl, still clutching the crowbar, whined, "You said this was legal." Lenny hyperventilated, muttering about his mom. The officers sized up the scene of me damaged door. Their laughable uniforms and knew exactly what was up. They searched the trio's van, finding the fake evidence. Carl cracked instantly. We were supposed to plan it to frame him. Lenny spilled more. Margaret told us to call the real cops after. My blood ran cold. They'd planned to ruin me. Margaret's meltdown was epic. They're lying. I was just doing an inspection, she screeched. But my cameras caught everything her handing over the fake evidence, clear as day. Within 10 minutes, all three were cuffed, facing charges of impersonation, attempted burglary, fraud, and evidence tampering. Neighbors cheered, revealing Margaret's years of tyranny. About time someone stopped her, one shouted. But Margaret wasn't done. Out on bail, she launched a smear campaign, spreading lies online that I was a drug dealer. Clients dropped me. Neighbors shunned me. I barely slept, haunted by her vindictiveness. In court, Margaret's lawyer, a shady ambulance chaser named Victor Klein, claimed a 1978 asset reclamation rule justified her actions. My lawyer, Emily Chun, calmly produced the 2009 HOA minutes Margaret herself had abolished that rule. The courtroom gasped. Her case collapsed, her lies exposed. She stormed out, screaming about corruption. 6 months later, I won $50,000 in damages. 8 months after, Margaret got a year in prison. Carl and Lenny got probation. But the real bombshell? I tipped off an HOA audit, uncovering Margaret's $10,000 embezzlement scheme. She lost her home, her status, everything. Now, I'm the HOA's transparency officer, implementing reforms to prevent abuse. My story went viral, landing me new clients and speaking gigs. Margaret? She bags groceries, a shadow of her former self. My cottage is peaceful again, but I'm always ready. Justice isn't just punishment, it's protecting others. So what do you think? Was Margaret a mastermind or just delusional? Should I have pushed for harsher penalties? Or was her downfall enough? How far would you go to protect your home? Comment below, hit like, and subscribe for more stories of justice served.